I've been thinking about this for a while now, and honestly, I think a lot more people feel lonely than they ever admit. Not because they have no friends, not because they spend every day by themselves, just because something feels different now. What's weird is that we're probably more connected than any generation before us. You can message somebody instantly. You can talk to people from anywhere in the world. You can join communities for literally anything. And yet, it feels like loneliness is something a lot of people deal with. I've noticed it online, I've noticed it with people I know, and I've definitely felt it myself at times. So I wanted to talk about it. Not like I'm some expert or anything, just as something I've noticed over the last few years. I think when people hear the word loneliness, they immediately picture somebody sitting alone with no friends. But that's not always what it looks like. You can have friends, you can talk to people every day, you can be in group chats, you can even be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. I've had moments where I'm sitting with people and everything is completely normal. We're talking, we're joking around, we're having a good time. But for some reason, I still feel kind of disconnected. And I think a lot of people know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not really about how many people you're around, it's more about whether you actually feel connected to them. That's why loneliness can be such a weird thing, because sometimes it doesn't even make sense. You look around and technically everything seems fine, but something still feels off. I also think social media plays a role in this, not because social media automatically makes people lonely, but because it changes how we see other people's lives. You open Instagram, somebody is on vacation, somebody is at a concert, somebody is out with friends, somebody is celebrating something, somebody just entered a relationship, and after scrolling through enough of that stuff, it's easy to start thinking everybody else is constantly doing something exciting. Meanwhile, you're sitting at home doing nothing. The reality is that you're only seeing the highlight. Nobody posts themselves sitting around bored. Nobody posts the days where absolutely nothing happens. Most people only share the interesting parts. But when that's all you see, it's easy to forget that everybody has boring days too. Everybody has lonely days too. You just don't see those. And don't get me wrong, I also think online friendships can be great. I've met cool people online, and most people probably have. You can spend hours talking to somebody, playing games together, sharing memes, talking about random stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do think online interaction and real life interaction feels different. Talking to somebody through a screen just isn't the same as actually being around them, going somewhere together, doing something together, having those random moments that happen in real life. And I think that's one reason why some people still feel lonely by talking to people every day online, because they're social, just not always in the way they actually need. Something else I've noticed that people don't really talk to strangers anymore, and honestly I'm guilty of this too. Most people are. If I'm waiting somewhere, I'm usually looking at my phone. If I'm on a bus, I'm probably looking at my phone, and everybody else is doing the exact same thing. You walk around town and everybody has headphones in, everybody is scrolling, everybody is focused on something. And I'm not saying people used to become best friends with random strangers every day, but I do think people were more likely to such random conversations. Now it feels like everybody stays in their own bubble. Nobody wants to bother anyone, nobody wants to seem weird. So everybody just keeps to themselves. And because of that, I think a lot of opportunities to meet new people never happen. I also think a lot of people also underestimate how hard it can be to reach out. Not because sending a message is difficult, but because people overthink it. You think about texting anyone, then you wonder if they're busy, then you wonder if they actually want to talk to you, then you wonder if you're bothering them, then you decide you'll do it later. And later never comes. I've definitely done that before. Most people probably have. The funny thing is that the other person might be thinking the exact same thing. Both people want to talk, both people want to hang out, but neither person actually reaches out, and then months pass by. Then people wonder why they feel disconnected from everybody. I also think life just gets in the way sometimes. Everybody seems busy now. You're busy with school, work, the gym, relationships, family stuff, gaming, social media. There's always something competing for your attention. And because of that, it's easy for friendships to slowly fade away. Not because anyone did anything wrong, not because people suddenly hate each other, just because life happens. You stop talking for a week, then a month, then 3 months, and before you know it, somebody you used to talk to every day feels like a stranger. I think that happens way more often than people realize. I think another thing that makes loneliness worse is comparison. It's really easy to feel like everybody else has a better social life than you, especially online. You see people posting pictures with huge friend groups, you see parties, you see trips, you see people constantly hanging out, and after a while you start wondering if you're the only person who's sitting at home doing nothing. But the truth is, there are probably thousands of people scrolling through those exact same posts thinking the exact same thing. Social media makes it really easy to compare your everyday life to somebody else's best moments, and that's usually not a fair comparison. The weirdest thing about loneliness is that you often can't tell who's dealing with it. Sometimes it's the quiet person, sometimes it's the loudest person in the room, sometimes it's the person who seems like they have everything figured out. That's probably why people don't talk about it very much, because from the outside most people seem completely fine, and because everybody looks fine, everybody assumes everybody else is fine too. I don't really have some huge solution for loneliness. I just think it's something more people deal with than we realize. Even people who seem completely fine from the outside. And maybe part of the reason it feels so common now is because people spend more time online and less time actually interacting face to face. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it's definitely something I've noticed over the last few years. Judging by how many people talk about feeling lonely online, I don't think I'm the only one. Anyways, that's just something that's been on my mind lately.